going back, how have you decided to break up the practices?
Yeah, well,
Type stuff and
today was ones versus ones, twos versus twos, threes. Today we did a period of team. We did a lot of individual, probably bigger individual sessions than we normally do. Just to get back into the swing of things. We did a lot of 2-minute work because we've gotten away from that, and you get rusty at that really fast. And then we did some 7-on-7. The guys are lifting during the week every other day. They're doing some 7-on-7 amongst each other. Next week will probably be the same, Friday, Saturday, and then we'll get into SMU at that point.
So, are they done with finals at that point?
They start finals. Today's the last day of class.
Oh, okay.
And then they'll have their reading days, and then they'll begin finals. So we're trying to make sure they get through. They'll do their weight training, their lifting, and really get ready for their final exams. Coaches will still be on the road all next week, and then it goes into a dead period. So we can have recruits on campus next weekend, and then it goes dead, and then that will be get ready for the bowl, do some work against SMU, and then you still have the practices, obviously, during the bowl week, which will be here. So it will be nice to have our own facility and our own meeting rooms.
Yeah, I Googled that thing on Fenway Park. You are going to be on the same side.
I saw.
And so, I mean, like I said, coaches I've talked to in the past said it's tough getting your signals in, it's tough getting your subs in. So is that just an extra thing you're going to have to straighten out?
Yeah, I'm going to probably have to make some calls to see what it's been like to play there. Like, how do you substitute down in the red zone if your team's all the way there? Do you run across the field, or do you say, excuse me, and work your way down I have no idea how you do that. So I got to look at it, maybe watch a TV copy, talk to some coaches who have played in Fenway, and then we'll have to practice with guys on the same side and just get used to it. But it's different. I don't know if there's any other places that do that.
Tim Murphy at Harvard, I don't know if you know him. But
they play there? Yeah,
he's played there.
I'll reach out to him to see if he's got any tips on that. I appreciate the insight on that, because someone did send me a picture after you brought it up, so I actually saw what it looked like, and you're right there. Or else we'd be hanging out like the dugout or something. What else you got?
Just more about the roster management. Just what's it like having guys coming and going? Just how dizzying is it? How do you approach it individually?
I think roster management's the hardest thing. You really can't plan ahead anymore because no one's under contract, so you don't know who's going to be there. The hardest part is, which if you really want to think about it even more, so say we get through this whole period, we get into the second semester, and we have a good feel for how many running backs we have, how many quarterbacks we have, how many O-linemen we have. Well, in the spring, it opens again. So that's the hard part. The portal opens again, guys can leave, and then you're just going out and replacing with whoever is left in the portal. So roster management's the hardest thing by far. I don't know if anyone can say they've totally figured it out, because no one can predict how many guys are going to stay and how many guys are going to leave, which is what you'd like. That's why you'd love to at least have like a year-to-year contract, so you know if a guy's going to be here throughout. But there's none of that. I mean, a guy can enter the portal. A guy can enter the portal now, and then he can enter in the spring. So it's hard. It's really hard. At least right now we have kind of a good feel for what it looks like. So when I'm on planes and traveling, I'm constantly looking at that, saying, all right, we need to fill this position and get 3, or do we wait until after spring ball and try to go then? So we'll just do the best we can. But the hardest part is, what if your team lost 3 quarterbacks after spring ball and you only had 1? It's not like another sport where you can just change positions. Like, you can't move a shortstop to second base. You can move a shortstop to second base. You can't move a wideout to quarterback. So then you got to go out and get 3 more.
What are you thinking about baseball?
Yeah, no doubt, because we're playing in a stadium. But even in basketball, right? You could play with however many guards and the center and forwards, but your O-line, what if like 5 guys leave? And then you have to go out in the portal in the spring and get 5. That's hard. It's really hard. So roster management's really tough. Really tough.
Anything in particular you're looking for with this team going forward? Like, is it size, experience of a certain position? Guys who have won games at other places, what are you looking for?
There's certain positions where we have specific things that we're looking for. It won't, not to get into specifics with you, but take one position where we're just looking for speed, and another position we're looking for size. I think overall we're looking for experience. And if you can get all of the above, you get it, but it's hard. So you look for some traits at certain positions, but I think we have a good feel for what we have and what can complement it, and that's what we're going out and seeing at various positions. We've got a big weekend this weekend. We'll have a big weekend next weekend, which is kind of what I told you guys, I think, when we talked Monday. You pick at the size of the high school numbers we have right now, but that's done very intentional, and this will be a lot larger class than 7 people. With a philosophical change for this class and the amount of kids we're losing, I'm very excited about these next 2 weekends.
Just all the grief the offensive line got last year, was it gratifying to see Forum get recognized by the ACC?
Yeah, it was, and I'll say this very bluntly, Drew Kendall should have at minimum been on the honorable mention All ACC, and that's a complete miss in my opinion. I think Drew's one of the best offensive linemen in this conference, and at minimum he should have been an honorable mention All Conference player. So I don't know how that was missed, but those other guys certainly deserve the recognition that they got, and it's great to see. Last year we didn't know who was going to play in which games, and now we have legitimate All-Conference linemen and several of them returning. And so that's really exciting, and it gives you a chance.
I know it was before, but they've had great centers all through the years. Alec, and I was just wondering, is that one of the most underappreciated positions? I mean, is that most cerebral offensive lineman really got to be the center?
Yeah, if you can get a smart guy in there like Drew, which makes him even a better player. He makes all the line checks, points out the IDs, constant communication from that guy, Rich. He's like the quarterback of the O-line.
Yeah.
And that guy also helps out the quarterback. And to have a guy like Drew, who is one of the smarter guys, smarter offensive linemen that I've been around ever, he's even more deserving to be an All-ACC selection. So I have no idea how that one got missed.
Anything on SMU yet? You gotten a look at them?
No, give me, other than I have a ton of respect for all the games they've won, and they're a ranked team and they're well coached. I got to dig in deep. You know, I've been on the road recruiting, and that will probably start towards the end of next week. I'll be able to give you some good info on that as we get going.
You mentioned consistency last time. I think that's the biggest word that fans are throwing around right now. Just how do you become more consistent moving forward?
Have more depth, so at the end of the year, you get guys with some experience that have played. And there's certain positions where the last couple games we had guys out there that haven't played at all and weren't even getting many reps in practice. So I feel really good at some spots where we have depth, and then there's others where we don't, and we have to get depth there. And just talking to a lot of coaches on the road, you know, the only way you can be consistent at the end of the year, and if you do have injuries like a lot of people do, is if you have depth. So that's where we need to do a better job of going out and adding depth at certain spots where we really struggled at the end of the year. You know, you can sit here and say, I wish those 8 to 10 guys who got hurt didn't get hurt, but the reality is every team's dealing with injuries. And like I think the O-line right now, we have a lot of depth, and we could sustain things there, and we have, but there's other positions where you lose 2 or 3 guys, and it's really hard. So that's the best answer I can give you on that. But we have to be more consistent. And I agree with that.
Any of the injured guys potential for the bowl, like Ryan, or is Ryan shut down?
Ryan shut down.
Okay.
There's potential for some of the other guys to come back. It's just we got to wait and see. But all the guys you would expect to be out there right now are back, which is really cool to see. Even the older guys are practicing, and I know in a lot of teams you get a lot of guys opting out not to play, and then you get all your portal guys who aren't going to play. And now all of a sudden you get to a bowl game and you don't even know which team you're playing. I mean, I'd imagine that's really hard on a lot of teams. I mean, there's been so many good players from good teams enter the portal that you're going to go into a bowl game, and whether it's your quarterback, your running back, your wide receiver, there's going to be different teams that you're playing against. And that's what's so different right now than back, you know, years ago when you knew exactly what you're going to get in your bowl games. Everybody played. And I think it's still an honor to play in a bowl game, and it's great for our kids to go out and play another game. It's just way different right now.
BC hasn't won a bowl game since 2016, and obviously some weird circumstances have happened in the past various years due to COVID and lightning and random things. Just how important is it just to win this game for the sake of winning the bowl game itself?
I think it's really important to I didn't realize it since 2016. I mean, shoot, we've made bowl games 3 out of the last 4 years, and first year we didn't go with COVID. The second year our whole team got sick, and I just think it's going to be fun to finally play a game. and definitely play it to win for a lot of reasons, and that's certainly one of them. So we are excited about that. What was the 2016 game?
They beat Maryland at Ford Field.
Okay, you're quick.
Yeah, you know this stuff.
It was back when they had money and they sent us to places. Christmas in Detroit, it was a blast.
That's funny,
Sounds like a
Rich.
movie.
You're going Army Navy, right?
Yeah.
Are you going?
No.
Should have put your foot down on that one.
I was a little late.
What, did John Powers?
Do you want to go to that one?
Sure to go. No, I'm good. Thanks.
You're welcome. That's a cool game. They're practicing here.
I actually got invited, but we have plans to see my parents, so.
Where at?
It's like on that,
Where at?
just like through a front.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, where's your parents live around here?
Oh, Arlington. Yeah.
Got it.
You been to Arlington?
What's that?
You been to Arlington?
One time, yeah.
Good place.
It is
A lot of
pretty.
good restaurants.
Yeah, I actually went out to eat there. I don't remember
Oh, yeah?
where though.
Yeah. Let me know if you need recommendations.
Is that where you live?
I live in Quincy.
Got it.
Yep.
Army's gonna be here. You should sit out by the bus with your deals and interview those guys.
Yeah.
1 o'clock.
What time? I know, I talked to
One.
them. They had
Actually,
a great thing at Gillette.
Let's go, man. Let's get some interviews for them.
Got their walkthrough day?
Get right on their walkthrough day.
Where is it, Flynn?
They'll be in Fish.
Fish?